let's make some unleavened bread or flatbread. So firstly, I am going to be adding in my all-purpose flour, and for this recipe I use 4 cups of all-purpose flour. Then I'm going to add a pinch of salt and 1 teaspoon of brown sugar. You're going to give that a good mix. Incorporate all those ingredients into the flour, and then you are going to add 1.5 cups of water gradually. And I am adding warm water. I am using warm water for this recipe, and I am mixing that as I go along. And as you could see, my technique is to sort of grab and squeeze the dough together before actually kneading it. Now, unleavened bread dates all the way back to biblical times, where the Israelites had to flee, and due to that they had to now not use any raisin agents because they were in a hurry. So that is where this recipe is derived from, and for this recipe you are able to make flatbread, which can double as a gyro wrap or a wrap that you can put your veggies or your meats in, or if you make them much smaller, it can also be used as a taco shell. So once you have done that, you would see me here now kneading that dough, ensuring that all of my flour is incorporated into a dough. Now for this recipe, your dough needs to be really soft. Notice that I did not add any baking powder or any yeast to this, and that is where you would get your flatbread from. And this recipe does not call for that. It is unleavened bread or flatbread, as some persons may know it as, and you do not use any raisin agent during this time. So for this particular recipe, I am going to be adding in 1 teaspoon of oil, and that is going to lock in all of that moisture into my dough to ensure that my dough does not dry out or it doesn't get hard. So that is a little secret there. I am just kneading it for a little while. This recipe does not have any rest time. So as soon as you are finished kneading it, you are going to boil them out. And as I said, the recipe was derived from biblical times. Therefore, the Israelites did not have any time to put any raisin agents into their cakes or their breads, so they just had to bake or cook their breads and cakes almost immediately in order to flee. So you're going to see me here boiling out my dough, but of course I have to flour my surface before adding my dough to it, because you don't want your dough to stick. Now my technique for forming my layers are to grab what you need from your main dough, and you're going to hold and pinch and squeeze your dough, and repeat this process until you have formed all your dough balls or layers for your unleavened bread. I was able to get 10 layers or 10 layers for unleavened bread, and you would see me here rolling out my unleavened bread with a rolling pin. And my secret is, once you hot up your tower that you're going to be cooking your unleavened bread on, you would want to move very quickly. So I tend to roll out at least 4 or 5 dough at a time, so that they cook almost immediately one after the other. And once I've added it to my tower must be hot. And as soon as I see any little bubbles forming, I then went ahead and flip it. And some of the flour does come with raisin agent, so you are still going to see it raising a bit, but in order for it not to raise, you could either punch holes in it during the time of unleavened bread to stop that raising agent that is in some flour to activate. And this recipe is so simple. You're just gonna see me adding my unleavened bread to my tower one after the other, and this unleavened bread was so soft, so smooth, and we ate it with almost everything, from tomato choka, pumpkin sal curry, you name it. You could also enjoy this. You could also get creative and add cheese to your dough so that the unleavened bread is actually a sort of a cheesy unleavened bread. And at this point, you just want to continue cooking the rest of your unleavened bread until all your layers or dough is fully cooked, and that is really it. Look at that, it has a lot of movement. You could bend it, you could roll it, you could do just about anything with this flatbread, but we eat it as unleavened bread during the time of Passover / unleavened bread, which is held every year, and it is celebrated by the Hebrew Israelites. So I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.